Adama and Akoma grew up as best friends in a lively town in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Their families lived directly across from each other, their houses so close that their windows almost touched. They did everything together from childhood, playing in the dusty streets, climbing mango trees, and sharing roasted corn from old Mama Ekaite's roadside stall. They sat side by side in school, whispering secrets and dreaming about their future. When they gained admission into the same boarding school, their bond only grew stronger. Adama, always the brightest in class, won awards and was admired by teachers, while Akoma, though intelligent, was never quite at the top. Despite this, there was no envy between them, at least, not at first. After secondary school, they both got admitted into a top university in Akwa Ibom. Their families and neighbors celebrated their success, proud of the two inseparable girls. After graduation, Adama, with her brilliance, secured a high-paying job at an oil company. But she did not forget Akoma. She recommended her to her boss and soon, Akoma was hired as well. Their friendship seemed unbreakable. People often asked if they were sisters because of how close they were. They shared everything, clothes, food, and even relationship secrets. But deep within Akoma, a small flame of jealousy had started to flicker. When Adama received a promotion and was sent abroad for 6 months, Akoma masked her envy behind a smile. Upon her return, Adama brought expensive gifts, perfumes, dresses, and jewelry. Soon after, suitors started lining up for her, men who were rich, kind, and eager to marry her. One day, she was invited to a grand birthday party and needed the perfect pair of shoes to match her dress. She borrowed a pair from Akoma, unaware that the shoes carried a hidden cost. From the night of the party, Adama's life turned upside down. She fell ill, experiencing unbearable headaches and vomiting blood. Despite multiple hospital visits, doctors found nothing wrong. Her situation worsened at work. Her boss, who once praised her, now looked at her with disgust. One morning, she was falsely accused of stealing company money and was fired. Two of her serious suitors mysteriously lost interest in her. Confused and broken, Adama sat alone in her home, wondering what had gone wrong. As the days passed, her health deteriorated further. Her legs became swollen and heavy, emitting a terrible smell. She could no longer walk. With no job and no means to support herself, she returned to the village, spending her days under the big mango tree near her home. One evening, an old man passing by saw her crying. He stopped and spoke gently, telling her that someone very close to her was the cause of her suffering. His words sent a chill down Adama's spine. Who could it be? The old man prayed for her and gave her a local medicine made from herbs. Strangely, after 7 days, her legs began to heal. The swelling disappeared, and she could walk again. But something unexpected happened. On the 7th day, Akoma fell terribly ill. Her own legs began to wither and darken. She could barely stand. In her weakness, she sent for Adama, who traveled back to the city to see her. When Adama entered the room, her heart pounded. Akoma, frail and weeping, confessed everything. She admitted to poisoning the shoes out of jealousy, hoping to make Adama suffer. She had gone to a herbalist the night before the party, knowing Adama would borrow the shoes. But she never intended for it to go so far. Adama was speechless. She had trusted Akoma with everything. The betrayal cut deep. But despite the pain, she took Akoma to the old man who had healed her. He gave Akoma the same native medicine and warned her never to do evil again, or she would die. Though Akoma recovered, she lost her left foot as a consequence of her actions. Life went on, but Akoma was never the same. She moved around with crutches, her once lively spirit now shadowed by regrets. Adama, though hot, still visited her every day. She brought food and water, sitting beside her in silence. One evening, Akoma asked, "Why do you still come here after all I did?" Adama smiled softly and said, "Because we grew up together. You are like my sister, and sisters don't abandon each other." Akoma blinked back tears, but deep down, the jealousy was not entirely gone. It had only grown quieter, walking beneath the surface. As time passed, Adama rebuilt her life. She secured an even better job at a prestigious company, where her boss, a wealthy and kind man named Etim, admired her intelligence and humility. He often invited her to important events and spoke highly of her. Soon, rumors spread that Etim was considering Adama for marriage. When Akoma heard this, the jealousy inside her reignited. Why does she always rise while I suffer? She muttered bitterly. But this time, Akoma didn't go to a herbalist. She had learned her lesson. Instead, she devised a cunning plan. She sent a young boy to deliver a note to Adama, pretending it was from Etim. The note asked Adama to meet him by the old mango tree at sunset. Eager and unsuspecting, Adama went to the meeting spot alone. But instead of Etim, masked men jumped out from behind the tree. It was an ambush. They kidnapped Adama and took her to an unfinished building, planning to keep her there until midnight when Akoma would come to end her life herself. But as they removed her blindfold, one of the kidnappers gasped in shock. He recognized her. Years ago, when he was starving and hopeless, Adama had helped him. She bought him food, gave him money, and told him to call her if he ever needed someone to talk to. Realizing who she was, he refused to harm her and convinced his partner to release her. Before leaving, he revealed that Akoma was behind the plot. Adama, shaken but unharmed, returned to the city and went straight to Akoma's house. When Akoma opened the door and saw Adama standing there, she nearly fainted. Adama, she stammered, fear evident in her eyes. Adama's voice was calm but firm. You thought I was dead, didn't you? But I am very much alive. I always do what is right, and that is why I am protected. Moments later, Etim arrived with the police. Adama had informed him of everything. Akoma was arrested for attempted murder. However, Adama kept her promise to the men who spared her life. She and Etim helped them secure proper jobs so they would never have to resort to crime again. One of them, in tears, thanked Adama, promising to never return to such a life. Months later, Adama and Etim had a grand wedding, celebrated by all. Meanwhile, Akoma was sentenced to 10 years in prison. She did not survive the full sentence. After 3 years, she fell ill and died, carrying the weight of her jealousy to the grave. The story of Adama and Akoma became a lesson for all who heard it. Jealousy, like fire, destroys everything in its path. But true repentance and forgiveness have the power to heal. Adama's kindness had saved her life, and in the end, it brought her the happiness she deserved. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and share it with your loved one.